Pacquiao vs Ugas post-fight show. Join us live on BWTM Sports Gaming. Let's talk about it. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports Gaming. A late one here. I haven't done this. I should have done the video post-fight Sunday morning. I honestly have been just so busy, haven't had a chance to. But here's the post-fight video. First of all, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and make sure you hit the notification bell. It's notified to all. That makes sure that all our videos, our live streams come straight to your inbox on your phone so you know what's going on. And also, don't forget you can watch us all also bwtmonline.com. You can also go to Android. If you're Android, you've got Google Play. Go to Google Play, download BWTM TV, BWTM Online, and you can watch it on your Android phone as well. Okay, so there's lots to talk about, isn't there? How are you doing, Ruben? Good to see you in the room. Okay, lots to talk about. First of all, the legend Manny Pacquiao fought over the weekend. He was meant to fight Errol Spence. He was scheduled to fight Spence, and that fight didn't happen. We can talk about that as well. And instead, Ugas stepped in with a week's notice and pulled off the upset over the 42-year-old Pacquiao. Yes, to me, Pacquiao didn't look sharp. Yes, Pacquiao he definitely looked old in there, but he was old when he fought Thurman. Did the 2 year or year and a half rest help him or hinder his career because of the COVID and the restrictions? I don't know. Has Father Time finally caught up with Pacquiao? I still don't know, because here's the thing. Pacquiao was preparing to fight Errol Spence. That was a huge fight and a huge fear factor. And, when you've prepared yourself physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally to prepare to fight one guy, Errol Spence, who is a lot of people think is the cream de la creme, the best fighter in the welterweight division, and you've prepared yourself, you've put yourself through everything, and all of a sudden you find out that who you're fighting instead is Ugas. No disrespect to Ugas, but he's not Errol Spence. And then you're fighting a tricky boxer, a Cuban boxer at that, who I don't think Pacquiao would have voluntarily gone out to fight, because Ugas was arguably, he beat Sean Porter, and he definitely beat up Ray Robinson. So Ugas is a damn good fighter. So he's no bum. People just can't say, "Oh, yeah, it's the end of Pacquiao's career," because Ugas is highly talented, long arms, knows how to use his reach, his height, boxing ability, footwork, and to have done what he did to Pacquiao was very, very impressive. But Pacquiao, he loves an excuse, doesn't he? He loves an excuse. With the Mayweather fight, it was his shoulder, and now this fight is leg cramps. Now, he said his cramp was in about the third round. I just don't think he was a fight. I just don't think he was motivated. I just think he was going through the motions. And when you're going through emotions in a place where you don't really want to be, you just want everything to be done very quickly. You understand? When you work, you're in a job, you don't really want to be doing that job, but you have to get the job done. So you try and get it done as quickly as possible. Your heart is not in the job, but you got to get it done, so you get it done. And there's no enjoyment in it. You're trying to get through it, and I just felt that Pacquiao was just going through the motions against Ugas. He didn't look inspired. He didn't look motivated. He looked like he was just going through the motions. He was hugely disappointed he didn't get the Errol Spence fight, because had he beaten Errol Spence, and Spence is there going, and Spence and his team are going, well, yeah, Pacquiao looked old. If that Pacquiao had fought us, we would beat Pacquiao. Hold on, we're just holding a second. That sounds great. That sounds great to hear. But let me spin it to you this way. That Pacquiao, you would not have been facing Errol Spence and Team Spence. You would not have been facing that Pacquiao. You'd have been facing a Pacquiao that was fully prepared to face you as a southpaw v southpaw, and he was fully prepared and fully motivated to beat you. I'm not saying he would have beaten you, but he would have been highly motivated to beat you because you were the cream de la creme. You know what I mean? It's a different fight. Spencer's like, oh, you looked old in there. Well, he may have looked old in there and demotivated, but not for 1 second did you think, you know what? Pacquiao's not fighting Ugas. Pacquiao's fighting Spence. So I think that's a whole different mindset. And people who fall into that are falling into the okie doke. Now, there is an argument, and just an argument, that the Spence injury came quite conveniently. And I said something about this when I did the video on the 154 pounds, him moving up in weight. If Spence were to get beat by Pacquiao, think this a second. If Spence were to get beat by Manny Pacquiao, what would they have done for his career? There's no way he could have got a Canelo fight out of that afterwards. There's no way he could have got a Crawford fight after that. There's no way he could walk around saying he's the best welterweight in the world and get him smashed up by a 42-year-old. Just is not clever. It's not even. It's not even. It's not even. It's not viable. It's not smart. You know. So, is it possible that that injury that they're talking about didn't happen? It's convenient. I've never seen Spence get beaten up in sparring before. The week before the fight, or a week after, week or 2 weeks before the fight, week and a half before the fight, we're seeing video of Spence sparring and getting beaten up in sparring. And I'm like, when do we see Spence getting beaten up in sparring? And then the next minute, eye injury. See, it all seemed quite convenient. And those people in the inside of boxing, Bernard Hopkins and a few other people that I've spoken to directly, are not convinced about the whole Errol Spence eye injury. I don't know. I'm not Errol Spence. Only him and his team and his trainer know what's going on. There's spin doctors and there are people out there in the press that can cover things up and put things around to make it look great. So I'm not saying he's lying. I'm not saying he's telling the truth. All I'm saying is it's out there, and I don't trust most media in boxing. I don't trust most media anyway. I certainly don't trust boxing media, to be honest with you. So it's one of these ones. You know, if you've got a Canelo fight around the corner, but then even if that's the case, why would you sign for that fight? Unless you took the opportunity to build your name off Pacquiao and get the attention for all the world boxing world to see you with Pacquiao, with no intention of fighting Pacquiao whatsoever. Talk the talk, but don't fight Pacquiao. Because a Crawford fight hasn't happened. And Crawford himself isn't exactly fighting the creme de la creme either. Getting beat by Crawford, that's okay. Getting beat by Canelo, that's okay. But getting beat by Pacquiao, a 42-year-old Pacquiao, now that's not good. So I just think that that's a possibility that could have happened. So I'm just thinking about that, and yeah. Yes, I said he did say he had cramps from round 2. That's true. Any chance of getting Ultron? Well, I don't know. The news, from what I understand, from what I hear, is that his channel's been taken down. And it was being reported as spam. This is the state of YouTube today for you. It's not good. It's not good at all. Yeah, YouTube are a mess. They're an absolute mess. And they're tampering with figures. I think the other day we looked at our real figures on BWTM Sports, right? And I think it worked out around 892. So I think 892,000 subscribers with over 80 million views. Was the real roundabout, the real statistics for BWTM sports. The real statistics, not the statistics that YouTube are throwing out. I cannot believe that only 5 people are watching your channel. Absolute garbage. I don't believe it. So, and the analytics are messed up. So YouTube are doing all they can. And I'm of the belief, truly of the belief, that there are those people that work inside of YouTube that are connected to the boxing world. Yes, but that's another story for another day. Let's keep it moving. Is Ugas now the king of who needs him? Will he get the credit? Sadly, he won't because of Pacquiao's mouth and Pacquiao's. I had leg cramps. There'll be people in the Pacquiao corner that will say, "Ah, well, Pacquiao didn't really get beat. He had leg cramps, and if the leg cramps weren't there, Pacquiao would have beat Ugas." Remember the people who are still talking about Pacquiao with that shoulder injury, and he had a shoulder injury. That's why he couldn't beat Mayweather. Yeah, afterwards he was able to lift his arms up quite well at the end of the fight, but he had a shoulder injury. I don't know. Every time Pacquiao makes these excuses, I just lose respect from every time. And the people still talking about Pacquiao versus Mayweather too. That fight wasn't even close. Pacquiao had about 2 particular moments in that fight, or maybe 3 moments in that fight. 12 rounds. Yeah, not for me. Sorry, I won't see that again. People say Pacquiao should pack it in. Really? Okay, so how many people in the welterweight division? How many British welterweights do you think today can beat Ugas? Let me put that to you first. How many of Britain's best current welterweights can beat Ugas? Let's throw that at you before Pacquiao should pack it in. Ugas is no bum. I think I don't know if Pacquiao wants to fight him in a rematch because I don't think it's a fight Pacquiao wanted in the first place. I think they just took the fight, but I don't think they wanted a fight. Boxing's full of crooks. I agree with you there. Um, Gutted to hear, like yourself, one of the good ones. I know. It's that's what it is about. But what I've done is to ensure that even if YouTube do play these games, my channel's already on another platform, and all my videos are on that platform. So even if YouTube play the full, all my videos backed up on another platform. So it doesn't really bother me in that sense. And I've suggested that Ultra do the same in the future. I've been in the room where YouTube says no people in the room on BWTM, and 2 other people writing comments. Yeah, it's typical of them. It's typical of the YouTube the YouTube community. You have lost complete and utter faith in YouTube and what it does. And the sooner that lawsuit goes through, the better. I hope they get sued for every penny they have, and those content providers are totally and fully um, recompensed, because it's not on. Ultimately, at the end of the day, when people are putting the time to put the effort to put videos out and put content out there, and then you are just suppressing their analytics and suppressing their views and suppressing their work, um, that in itself is affecting a person's line of work, and for that form of suppression, something needs to be done about it. Where does Ugas go from here? Well, obviously, when Spence gets better, which I think he will get better, I think Ugas v Spence is the natural fight to make. I didn't see Keith Thurman jumping up and down wanting to fight Ugas, because when they asked Keith about the Ugas fight, he was like, yeah, it was one of the potential fights they could have. But that's a good fight for Thurman to come back on Ugas, because Thurman got beat by Pacquiao, and if Thurman can come back and knock Ugas out, that would be something. But I don't think that Thurman can beat Ugas, to be honest. I think it's a dangerous fight for Thurman, because this guy is fundamentally sound as a boxer. Seems to have a very good chin, and it's got some good power in that right hand. So I like Ugas. I like his style. He's a very good boxer. So fair play to him for beating Pacquiao. No excuses. He beat Pacquiao. That's it. Don't want to hear anything about no shoulder injury, no leg injury, no cramp, nothing. He got beaten. That was it. And you move on. It's just a sad state of affairs that we have to be relying on people like Manny Pacquiao to be our event. That's how boxing has declined. That we have to rely on a 42-year-old for our entertainment. A 55-year-old in Mike Tyson. Riddick Bowe's coming back to fight Lamar Odom, or whoever the basketball player who was with one of the Kardashians. Yeah, he's going to fight Riddick Bowe. Imagine if he knocked Riddick Bowe out. What does that say about heavyweight boxing? The former undisputed champion of the world gets beat by a basketball player. God forbid it happens, but if it happened, it wouldn't be good. Celebrity boxing coming up, I think, end of the month. Rumours of Bud moving to PBC after the contract ends could be the fight before Spence. Well, those rumours, I talk about Crawford moving to PBC, that it was the place to be, and I said that it was stupid of him to renew his contract with Bob Arum. Now we talk about him going to PBC, 3 years later, 4 years later. The best years of Bud, are they ahead of him? I don't know. Maybe his best years have been wasted with fighting these second string opponents. Bud's not getting any younger, and it's something that the clock is ticking. And it's, the lower weight divisions, all that weight making all the time, as they get older, reflexes start to go and they're not the same fighter. So let's hope that Bud's got 2-3 good years left in him. Let's hope. Keith blows him out. Who? Ugas. Keith blows out Ugas. Stop talking crap, mate. When's the last time Keith Thurman couldn't even blow away Luis Collazo? He still blow people away. Stop blowing no one away, man. Behave yourself, man. Love to come up with these ridiculous statements all the time. Keith Thurman hasn't knocked anybody out since he fought. Since the last interview I did with him in the car, I think that was the last time he knocked someone out. And even then, the guy retired on his stool. Yeah, so Thurman hasn't knocked anybody out for years. So he ain't knocking nobody out. And forget Thurman knocking anybody out. His career is his career is in the decline. I don't think Thurman carried. I've said Thurman's had that shoulder injury for years. And I said it early in his career when he kept throwing them big winging punches. I said, Keith, the way you're throwing them punches like a fast bowler, your body's not built for that, and you're gonna injure yourself. Look at the man now. That's because of them big wide winging shots he's throwing. So don't know. But I think Keith's one of the most vulnerable welterweights around at the moment. That's why they're trying to push Tank Davis up there to fight Keith Thurman. If it was the Keith Thurman that fought back in the day, Keith Thurman, I don't think Tank would have wanted any piece of Keith Thurman, but not now. Keith is still. Yeah, this argument of Bud being top three in the planet. Well, I have to disagree with you that as well, because Bud's opposition, his last 3 fights. Who've Bud's last 3 fights been? The Green Machine, Amir Khan, and Kell Brook. Is that really top 3 material? That's the question. I mean, we like to say it, but is that top 3 material? Were those 3 guys in the top 10 at the time when he fought them? I think maybe the Green Machine was in there. He was mandatory, but the other 2 guys, both were damaged goods, to be honest. Should younger boxers add social media aspects seriously to their immediate image to compete with the YouTubers getting their limelight? Good question. I think I spoke about this. Oh, it sounds like I'm repeating myself. I spoke about this a while back, just when COVID hit, and I was saying that boxers are too lazy, and we have gone away from the world at a time where it's like, I have gloves, we'll fight. Those days are gone. In the world of social media now, you have to be thinking ahead of the game. What makes you different apart from just being a good fighter? Are you articulate? What do you bring to say? Can you sing? Can you dance? Can you play the flute? Do you have a really hot girlfriend? Do you have a hot wife? Can you cook well? What else do you bring to boxing apart from the fact that you box? You know what I mean? And you have to be able to sell that. And if you can't sell that, then you're gonna have a problem. So what these promoters want is a promoter's dream. He can sing, he can dance, he's got a hot wife or hot girlfriend. He's a comedian. Boxers need to do so much more now. It's not just about fighting. And even if you can't fight, well, you can just about fight. If you got a following, you're going places. Logan Paul. So there you go. It's like that, Um, it seems being a celebrity is more important than being a boxer these days, i.e., Jake Paul, Logan Paul. Now, there was a story that came out today or yesterday, depending on what time you're watching this, that Jake Paul, took a cut in his money to ensure the other boxers got paid well. Well, my thoughts to that, when we hear that, it sounds very good of Jake Paul to have done that, but it's spun in such a way. It can be spun in such a way that he was being greedy. Somebody said to him, "Yo, you're being greedy. The other fighters need to get paid. Ask for something more reasonable." He's got something more reasonable, and then it's distributed well amongst the other fighters. That's a lot different to Jake Paul has donated or taken a voluntary pay cut. You see how it sounds different. Media's very interesting. It's not. It's how it's said, how it's put, and we know what media is like. I'm sure if it was a Deontay Wilder or maybe Tank Davis or somebody else, that they would have probably said Wilder was being greedy as a promoter, therefore, he was being greedy, and other fighters were suffering, so he was forced to take a pay cut. That's how media works. Interestingly enough, I want to talk about one other thing. Good evening, Yasser. I hope you're well. Good to see you in the house. I do want to talk about one other thing as well, which caught my attention. Is this Tank Davis escaping a plane crash? I looked at that and I thought, who did he upset? That's what I thought. And he escaped that plane crash. Amazing, incredible. So yeah, while I'm at it, I'm going to say a massive shout out to Felachamp Promotions. Did a great card on Saturday, in fact, which I was there, and I interviewed the fighters as well. It was a great event, some great fights. I even managed to get an interview with two fighters. They had a real tear up, and as they got out the ring, they were actually asking for immediate rematch between the pair of them. It was probably the funniest interview I've ever done. It's on YouTube, so check it out. I've uploaded that interview as well. But those fights were really good, and I really enjoyed the fights. And shout out to Felachamp Promotions. It was great to also see the BWTM banner logo on the promotions, on the t-shirts, and also the MC, the master ceremonies, constantly saying thank you to all the sponsors and partners, including BWTM Sports. So it was great to be a part of a promotion and to work with a promoter that wasn't just taking, but working with a promoter that was giving back. It was a fantastic feeling, and it really gave me a buzz, and it gave me the feeling of knowing what it's like to be an investor. Those investors where they give money to people or sponsor people, that they feel valued by that feeling. It's an amazing feeling. It's an amazing buzz, and I understand now why people do it. So yeah, it was real cool. What do you think of Wax's performance? Is he 2 weights away from Bivol? Hell no, he's not. Hell no, he's not. He's still getting caught with right hands over the top. He's not ready for a world title fight. Absolutely not. Manny, Pac-Man, Argo jab was class. Yeah, Ugo jab was class. Gervonta Davis and Errol Spence dicing with almost certain death. So weird. Interesting, huh? Interesting. Whole point is he didn't have to do it. He could have been greedy and no one would have cared. Ah, you don't get the point, do you? Moving swiftly on. So yeah, it was great. And if you want to see those fights, they are currently on BWTM Sports. Check them out. Champ promotion, 6 hours. So we started the evening or the afternoon, 2 o'clock. Well, about 3 o'clock start really. We showed those exhibition boxing, those amateur boxing, and then we went into the pros. And we had a couple of pro debuts. We saw the knockout king himself, Bomb Squad, Albario, with another knockout performance at light heavyweight. His idol is Deontay Wilder, and it was good to talk with him again, watch him in action, watch him throw that right hand. So yeah, he's definitely one to watch, and there's quite a few others as well that box on the night that look pretty tasty. And I was just excited to watch pros making a debut, pros in the middle of their careers. World champion, WBU champion Tyson Killer, yeah, Tyson Kill. Yeah, Sullivan did really well. Um, Controversial stoppage over a man called Justice. That was good. So I really enjoyed it. And if you tuned into the boxing, thank you so much. I really appreciate the support there. Love that broadcasting room was just a day full of boxing. No messing about with future stars and messing about with future stars and so many stars. Yeah, it was amazing. It was fight after fight after fight after fight, and it was really good. Plus two performances, one from Global Boy and the other performance from Don Stormy. So shout out to both of them. The only low point was that a young girl, very talented young girl, 10 years old. I interviewed her, said that she wants to fight in the Olympics, and very talented. She couldn't fight. She wasn't well, so um, unfortunately. But I'll be going to do an interview with her at some point, and maybe invite her on the show. Plus, little man fought, and he became a champion. He put on a masterclass performance. The 10-year-old. It was just brilliant to see these little 10-year-olds boxing. So much skill and so much talent. You think to yourself, 10 years from now, if they're going to be really, really good. And the younger you keep, the younger you start children in sport, the more chance you've got of them sticking at it, and the more chance of them actually going on to be great. A lot of the greats you'll see they've started very early at early age in sport, whether it be boxing, whether it be cricket, rugby. You start them young, really young. It's ingrained in their system, and the basics are ingrained so early. There are kids I coach that at the age of 9 and 10 have got better fundamentals than a 13 or 14-year-old. Just think about that for a second. So yeah. What else do I have to talk about? Yeah, I've got some really great news coming up shortly, but I can't talk about it at the moment. I'm just gonna have to pause on that. Yeah, so um, 20 punch 20 punch combination shadow boxing is somewhat different doing it in a fight. Yes, that is very true. That is very true. We call that aerobic boxing. You throw all these combination punches is aerobic boxing. It doesn't work when you're in the ring at all. So it's a good thing to get warmed up with. It's a good thing to get muscle memory with, but it isn't really effective when you actually box itself. Because when you're throwing those rat-a-tat 20 punches, nobody's punching you back in the mouth. Nobody's punching you back and making your legs do a funny dance or whacking you your ribs and making you gasp for air. So it's different. It's different, and I get it. So I totally agree with your point there, Gray Charles. Right, if there's nothing else to talk about, I think I will end this show and I'll get some sleep because I've got a long day tomorrow. Thank you all for watching BWTM Sports Gaming. As always, this has been myself, Ingram Jones, on BWTM Sports. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great night. Take care.